So this is a tomato plant that I had outside, and I hung it upside down to see if they would start ripening. And a couple weeks later I came back. Look, they're all red.
Our eyes are closed when we start this loop on repeat.
Encore, un autre fois.
Hear my chest, how it beats when you put your hands on me. Time goes fast, but yet so slow. I leave all thoughts, yeah, I let them go.
Cuckoo.
I smile all the time.
Like, I have not harvested one green tomato in here since the beginning of growing in here. And I didn't even put compost down in that bed. My gosh, it's so hot in here. So for you guys that don't know what Shed Wars is, I collaborated with a whole bunch of people. Over 100 channels are involved in this Shed Wars. It's a hashtag ShedWars21. If you go search it out on YouTube, you will find a whole bunch of gardening videos that we all did collectively to try to get people to grow more food for themselves. And we are also going to be weighing in, we have 2 teams, and we're weighing in all the food that we produced, and the team that grows the most food wins. There's one channel in particular, they're not from Canada, but man, I just love them, and they deserve this huge shout out. They are called the Vineyard Chicks, and they're like my favorite channel to follow because they're so sweet. They're 3 sisters, 3 little girls, and they like seriously have so much knowledge that was passed down to them by their parents. They're homeschooled, and they started this YouTube channel as a project to, I think it's like just like computer science or something like that, but it turned into be so much more, and I love watching them. They have such sweethearts, and you can tell that their family just is full of love, and it's just really wholesome to watch. So I would highly recommend you guys go check out the Vineyard Chicks. They have been the highlight of, I think, this season. I think if any channel should win anything, it should be them. This is why I like wearing a dress when I come out to the tunnel. I could just fill it up. Welcome to my Shed Wars video of the month on tomatoes. As you guys saw in the title, I stopped watering my tomatoes by the end of the harvest. And why is that? Because here in Zone 3 Canada, even if I have a tunnel, the season won't be extended for like a month, right? Because even if it does extend for a few weeks in the beginning of the spring and then a few weeks at the end of the season, we are pretty much at the end. And I have a lot of green tomatoes left in my tunnel, though I did get an excellent harvest for red tomatoes. I canned up a whole bunch of them. By the end of September, I stopped watering them altogether. And that is because I want my green tomatoes to ripen. And though I don't have a ton left in here, there are a good amount that I know that in the next few weeks they will ripen if I give them that little boost of stress. So I stress them out a little bit, and they're like, oh, okay, I need to ripen like real fast so that my plant survives. And I've noticed that in the past few years that I've been growing tomatoes indoors, if you stop watering them, they will ripen. And so I figured I'd try that in my tunnel this year, and it's been paying off. The plants are sort of dying off slowly, and just with the dew that's coming down from the tunnel, that's enough water that they need to just finish off what they have to continue to do. These were my cucumbers that were here. I got everything off of the plants, and I put all my pumpkins and my squash here so that they can cure in the sun. I got a little bit of aeration coming in here because or else it's too humid in here. You see all the water dripping off the top of the tunnel here, and that's just because of the dew at night. So I got these here. I came in for a massive harvest last week. Oh, this one has a little bit of end rot. But I really want these guys to ripen. And I do have a fair good amount left, which is nice. I still have my peppers in here, which I'm going to have to come harvest those guys too. But look on this plant. Like, I have not harvested one green tomato in here since the beginning of growing in here. All these green tomatoes should be turning red here soon. See that? So the plant is sort of like dying off. And these ones here, I harvested all the tomatoes that were on it. And there's one left there. So I'd say that's a pretty good result. And each one of these plants gave me a ton of tomatoes. A lot of people will come actually and top off the plant here in August. I just, like, this one snapped. A few of them here I did on the semi-indeterminate varieties, and that is just to give them a little bit of a boost to go onto their fruit. But for the most part, have just let these guys be, and it gave me a pretty good result. These ripen tomatoes just fell over. They were just too full of fruit, so they just fell over, but they are still ripening. So I still have a good maybe 2 weeks left of these guys, and I'm just gonna let them die off slowly, not water them. And I'm still expecting a pretty decent harvest out of these guys. Are you digging? I always leave a few broccolis out to go to flower because the bees need a lot of flowers in the fall, and I don't tend to have a lot of wildflowers, so I just leave them here for the bees. They're happy, and these ones are still gonna sprout out, and they love the color yellow. So if you guys get yellow flowers for fall for bees, do it. They love the color. On the other side of the tunnel, what I did, since I have tomatoes on this end planted, I figured I would use the heat of the tunnel to sort of radiate on the side, and I covered all these other tomatoes with hay. And I'm gonna go check underneath them after I get done bringing these guys inside and weighing them, and I'm gonna show you what it gave if I have any red tomatoes, because it did frost outside. So as I can see here underneath these guys, I do see a fair bit of red ones that are coming along. So I think that's gonna be a success here. I also covered up some of my pumpkins that I had that were green. I'm gonna go check those guys out too. It's been about 5 days. So I'm gonna go see if it worked out. As you guys see, we did get hit with frost. These plants are completely dead. And what you doing? What you doing? Huh? Even though these tomatoes are not fully ripe, I am going to pick them anyways. It'll send a signal to the plant to give more energy to the tomatoes remaining. So I pick these anyways, and they will continue to ripen on the table inside. So at least these will give a good amount more of red tomatoes. I can't believe how many I'm getting this year. It's amazing. So let's check out the pumpkins. Oh shoot, look at that. That's nice. Okay. Let's give this one here. Yeah, so that one's starting to turn. Oh, this one too. I'm gonna give it some sun. This one is a little bit more premature, so I'm not surprised that it's still green, but I think that one here is starting as well. Good job, pumpkins. I've got a few other really massive big ones here I'm gonna check out. I'm just gonna uncover it and come back. This is a knucklehead pumpkin, and look at the bottom. I see some orange. It's a nice size. It is coming along nicely. What about this one here? It's still green, but I sort of see a little bit of yellow coming through. All right. That's really exciting. And to think that these pumpkins were planted a little bit later and I wasn't seeing any female flowers at all. And I was like, man, how are these guys gonna produce anything for me? And it turned out that they are doing exceptional and they're producing. And I didn't even put compost down in that bed. I'm a little covered in pumpkins. pumpkins right now. Woohoo! Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you.
I love you too. Anyways, I'm gonna go weigh in these this last bit of tomatoes, and I'm gonna start my day by making a salsa. So stay tuned. I can't wait to weigh in the rest of everything that I have. Oh my gosh, potatoes are so massive. And yeah, so I'm gonna have like a really big harvest video coming out pretty soon for you guys, and can't wait to show you. Bye.